Alright guys, so that was my 2-day, 1-night trip to Zhijiayang and Xueshan main peak. In fact, it was originally supposed to be a 5-day trail that would have seen me get onto the Holy Ridge from Xueshan summit and then take in 2 more Baiyue, Xueshan North Peak and Pintian Shan, which are 2 peaks that I've been missing for a long time and been wanting to complete. But unfortunately, the weather had other ideas for me. The day I set out, the forecast was okay, but then it suddenly changed and snow was forecast overnight. So the night that I spent in the hut, it actually snowed on Snow Mountain. So when I got up there, I found out that the snow was quite deep. In the footage it doesn't look that deep, but on the way down from the other side it was almost thigh deep, and the area where you need to ascend to the Holy Ridge is called Beilingjiao, and there's a gully that you have to climb up where there's ropes, and you couldn't even see the ropes, and there was so much snow and I was on my own, so I just figured it was too dangerous to even attempt to go up there. So I came back down via the traditional Snow Mountain route and stopped a night at Chika cabin before returning home. So my plans to summit Pintian were foiled for the 3rd time. Will I ever make it? Now, the subject of whether to carry on with your hike or give up is one that is being discussed quite a lot recently following the spate of fatalities that have taken place in Taiwan's mountains over the last couple of weeks. Now, I was quite fortunate because I encountered only fresh snow and I only had my micro spikes. If I had have encountered ice or compacted snow, that would have been a big problem for me, and I probably would have just turned around and gone back down via the original route. As the snow was fresh, I was able to walk on it pretty easily and complete my hike. It's easy to say with hindsight, but as far as I'm concerned, if the weather is going to be bad, then I basically just don't go. And that's obviously a personal call because some people take holidays and some people have been waiting for a very long time to do their trips and they really want to go, and that's understandable too. But at the end of the day, you have to assess whether it's worth risking your life for. And I have 2 kids and my wife, and I just don't want to risk it. Of course, accidents can happen at any time, even in perfect conditions, but when you're hiking in super cold and icy conditions up in Taiwan's mountains in winter, the likelihood of an accident happening are much higher. So again, it's a personal call, but for me, it's a big no-no, and I will turn around or just not go at all. Another factor in your decision making must be your experience of hiking in such conditions. Now, I personally do not have that much experience of hiking in snowy and icy conditions. So for me to go hiking in those conditions, I would need to either be very experienced or be going with somebody who is very experienced and can teach me. And of course, another important consideration is having the right equipment. In such really cold and icy conditions, you've got to have proper crampons, an ice axe, a helmet, and warm clothing. They are the very basic things that you need. If you don't have them, then you just shouldn't be going up there in the first place. Anyway, aside from that, I had a really fun trip. Even though I was on my own, I really enjoyed it. The first day, I got off the bus in Huanshan, or Squayor tribe village. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I apologize to any Atayal speaking people out there. But anyway, I got off the bus there and then walked down through the village, across the suspension bridge, and then onto the trail. And then from there, it's about an hour or two to the actual trailhead. From the trailhead, it was a 1400 meter climb up to Piaodan Hut, where I spent the first night. Then the second morning, I got up early, went to Zhijiayang, which was my 45th Baiyue. From there, I had high hopes of climbing up Xueshan and then heading up onto the ridge to Xueshan North cabin, but as I found out later, the snow had other ideas. That was the first time I've hiked in such deep snow in Taiwan, and it was quite enjoyable. I only had my kind of microspike crampons with me, but they were enough for those conditions, although my boots, being quite old, were not very waterproof, so I ended up having very cold and very wet feet, which is another reason why I decided not to carry on. But apart from that, it was a really enjoyable trip. It was a bit of a slog up the back of Xueshan on the old route. That route was actually opened by the Japanese in the early 1900s to the summit, and that was the actual summit route for Xueshan until the early 70s, when the present route through Wuling Farm was opened. So it was quite interesting to do that route. It's pretty steep. There's a lot of kind of rocky crevices that you need to go up there, but it was okay. It wasn't that difficult, but you do probably need to wear a helmet because there's a lot of overhanging rocks as you're going up the valley, and there's a danger that perhaps maybe some small rocks will fall down, so you definitely need a helmet. But yeah, overall it was a good experience to climb a new route and have some fun in the snow. Xueshan obviously is one of the most popular routes in Taiwan, so it's very easy to get to. I went on the bus from Luodong. It takes about 2.5 to 3 hours to get to Huanshan, or Squayor. I'm still not saying that right. Coming back, I came back down into Wuling Farm, and obviously there's a lot of transport links from there. So transport-wise, it's a pretty easy hike to do. Difficulty-wise, I'd say it's kind of average. It's not the most difficult hike I've ever done in Taiwan, but it's definitely not one of the easiest, as it's quite steep. The problem for me was that I had 5 days worth of food and a lot of equipment in my bag, so it was pretty tough going. But if you do Zhijiayang as a day hike, then I imagine it would be a lot more pleasant. Piaodan Hut was very nice. It's quite new. Originally there was supposed to be about 8 or 9 people in there, but I guess everybody else called off their trips, as I was the only person in there. So I had a lot of time to myself to admire the views and read my book. And that was it, really. Not really much to tell you about climbing Xueshan that you don't know from my other videos. If you're not sure about any of the details, then you can check back in my archive. And that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed my little snow adventure. If you did, then don't forget to give me a like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell down below for future videos and notifications. If you'd like to help support the channel, then of course you can click super thanks down below, buy me a coffee, or consider becoming a channel member for some extra content and early access to my videos. And that's it, guys. Hoping to knock off a few more Baiyu in the near future. I'll keep you posted on my plans. And in the meantime, take it easy and I'll see you next week. Over and out. Hiking in a winter wonderland.